How's it going, everyone? Got some major PlayStation updates to go over in this video. We have a reported PlayStation State of Play happening next month in February. We'll talk all about that. And Shuhei Yoshida did an in-depth interview with Kinda Funny yesterday. Greg Miller conducted that interview, and there was a lot of interesting information and his speculation. Particularly, I think the one that's getting the most traction is the reason Bloodborne Remaster hasn't happened yet, and I find it a little bit interesting. We'll get to that in a little bit, but first of all, PlayStation State of Play is reported to be happening in 2025. This is coming from Nate the Hate, who just slam dunked the Nintendo Switch 2 date reveal, so I think he just launched up in terms of the credible insiders. At the very least, his name is gonna be a lot more out there now that he probably got his most public leak in terms of notoriety. Like, there was a lot of information, and he's gonna get the complete credit, as deserved, and he's probably gonna launch up in terms of the well-known reporters and leakers as far as this information goes. But it is now being reported that a PlayStation State of Play will be happening next month, and he was asked if there was gonna be any State of Play. Do you know anything about the next State of Play? And Nate the Hate responded, "How's February sound?" So I would lead that to believe him saying that there's gonna be a February State of Play, and that would go in line with the typical time frame of when a State of Play happens. I believe last year, the Stellar Blade State of Play, and I call it the Stellar Blade State of Play, not because it revolved around Stellar Blade, but Stellar Blade had like its big showcase and had the release date announcement. February makes sense to me. If you want to show games that are coming for the rest of the year, I could see something like a Lost Soul Aside getting a gameplay trailer and maybe a release date or a release window. You know, and it would be nice to get a complete lineup as far as what's coming out for the rest of this year. And by the time of February, you might want to announce another PlayStation on PC title. There's a lot you could do as far as PlayStation titles go. It would be nice if we got one other major first-party game to round out this year's lineup, but that might end up just being fair game. I'm gonna be real with you guys. That may very well end up being fair game, but if they can sneak in like a Marvel's Venom, I think that would just add a lot to the PlayStation's offerings this year, because Ghost of Yotei is going to be huge, and I'm incredibly excited about that, but it'd be nice to have a couple of other first-party outings to go alongside with that. PlayStation's going to be fine regardless. They could literally, as I've said before, release nothing whatsoever, and because Microsoft is literally bringing their games on over, and they don't have a lot of competition, they can do whatever the hell they want, and they're not going to face any consequence. But it would be nice as a PlayStation fan to have a little bit of, you know, a lineup with a little bit more depth to it than 2023 or 2024, but that's all I'm saying. At least last year, you know, PlayStation did end up winning Game of the Year, so it is what it is. Yeah, I can crap on the 2024 lineup, but Astrobot kind of carried, and you did have the third-party PlayStation published titles like Ronin and Stellar Blade. You know, those do go a little way, and you do have that this year as well with Death Stranding 2 as well as Lost Soul Aside, but it'd be nice to have something in-house first party like an Insomniac bringing something out, even if it's a smaller scale game like a Miles Morales. I'd be totally all aboard on that. Or if it's an HD remaster of something people actually want an HD remaster of. Not Days Gone HD remaster, I'm talking about like a Ratchet or an Infamous, something like that, you know, something that people actually desperately want to play, and not something that's just, you know, Days Gone remaster, which I could very well see get announced at the State of Play if it does happen next month. Alright, moving on from that. Speaking of remasters, and I found this rather interesting, Shuhei Yoshida, former PlayStation president, talked to Kinda Funny Games' Greg Miller and talked a lot about Bloodborne Remaster. He was asked, and the only thing is he could speculate. People wonder why we really haven't done anything, Yoshida said. My theory is because I remember Miyazaki-san really loved Bloodborne when he created it, so I think he is interested, but he is so successful and he is so busy, so he cannot do it himself, but he doesn't want anyone else to touch it, so that's my theory, and the PlayStation team respects his wishes, so that's my guess. I'm not revealing any secret information. So that's just his theory. Let me push back on just one standpoint on this. That's fine if Miyazaki-san does not want to touch Bloodborne Remaster. That does not excuse PlayStation and Sony doing all of these nonsensical HD remasters that, let's be honest, most people don't want. Nobody cares that much about a Horizon Zero Dawn HD remaster. Nobody cares that much about Last of Us being released for the 84th time. People want some of those games in the PlayStation 3 era that have just been lost, and you did Uncharted Nathan Drake Collection, so don't tell me you can't do the PlayStation 3 HD remasters. Where's Ratchet Future Collection? Where's Infamous HD Collection? Yes, Bloodborne is the most sought after game. Bloodborne is the game that everybody wants to see get a 60 FPS patch, an upgraded release. Sure, that might be the case, but that's still, if we put that to the side, if we pretend that Bloodborne never exists, it still doesn't excuse Sony going the route of Horizon Remaster, Last of Us Part 2 Remaster, Days Gone potentially getting a remaster. Like, where are the games that actually are stuck on PlayStation 3? And again, I get the idea of, oh my god, it's the cell architecture, we have millions and millions of dollars, but we just can't figure out the damn cell architecture, guys. The cell architecture has us stuck. I don't give a damn. Figure it out. Ratchet, why is Ratchet Future Collection stuck on the PlayStation 3? That is egregious. Y'all ain't gonna be releasing a Ratchet game for like 8 years. Can we at least get a Ratchet Future Collection? What do I gotta do? A Killzone trilogy, a Resistance trilogy, Days Gone HD. If Days Gone HD Remaster gets revealed, and people are just gonna be like, well, Miyazaki-san just does not want to touch Bloodborne. Alright, that's great. How about we do some remasters that people actually want? And maybe, you know, Horizon Remaster was a 1-2 snap of a finger and it got done and the resources invested into it were fairly low. Maybe that's the case with Days Gone. Maybe that'll be the case with God of War 2018, because I very well expect that to be next. And, you know, Ratchet would just be something that I think people would actually get really excited for. And do you want to build some goodwill with your consumer base? I mean, you're getting clowned on for all of these remasters of PS4 games. At least Ratchet Future Collection or a God of War Saga Collection, something like that would be like, okay, I get it, it's another remaster, but I get it, those games are stuck on the PS3, let's get those games. If y'all ain't gonna do backwards compatibility, which they might to be fair, but those games are stuck on the PS3, and they could still see an updated release. Like, even if we do get backwards compatibility, would you not like to see Infamous at 60 frames per second and 4K? I sure as hell would. Would you not like to see Ratchet Future Collection and Tools of Destruction with trophy support at 4K 60 FPS? I sure as hell would. So it's not just Bloodborne. Yes, Bloodborne is the most sought after one, and if Miyazaki-san does not want to touch it right now, fine, I get that, and Sony respecting his wishes, I think is pretty cool, if that is the case. And again, that's Yoshida's theory, but at the same time, that does not excuse the fact that there are so many potential remasters that they could be doing, and they're doing Horizon, they're doing Last of Us 2, they're doing Last of Us 1, they're doing, you know, potentially Days Gone. Like, isn't that a little bit questionable to say the least? But that's my 2 cents on that. I just feel like there's so many other opportunities for great remasters aside from Bloodborne. Yes, Bloodborne's the one that everybody's gonna be clamoring about, and when that does happen, millions upon millions of sales, but I've always argued you can do the Bloodborne remaster whenever you want and it'll be gargantuan. But at the same time, like, y'all are doing all these other remasters, if not Bloodborne, Ratchet, Infamous, Killzone, Resistance, figure something out with 3D Dot Game Heroes. I know that wasn't a PlayStation published title, but I'm sure we can figure something out. There's so many high quality games. I don't know, a Warhawk remaster, get online services. I know y'all don't want to compete with yourself and your live service experiences, but it is what it is. That'll do it for me. Again, State of Play potentially happening next month. Nate the Hate has definitely launched up in terms of the more well-known reporters and leakers out there, so that is pretty cool if we do get a nice State of Play, although my expectations for State of Play these days are in the effing gutter, so we'll see how that turns out. And as far as the Bloodborne remaster theory goes, again, that theory could be valid, and that's great. That still doesn't excuse Sony not doing all the other potential remasters that they could be doing. But that'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.